Good afternoon, dearest family and closest friends. My name is Repertory Brown, and I'm honored, pleased, and indeed I count it a privilege to join with all of you today in celebrating joy. I count it all joy that we're gathered together on this day, April 29th, 2023, to celebrate joy, J-O-I. The why suggests that there is not an ephemeral reality associated with that kind of joy. Happiness is ephemeral. It's temporal, it goes away. But joy lasts. And so we're here to celebrate the life of Joyce Marie Barker Brown. She's worthy of celebration. Put your hands together and celebrate her right now. Before we get into the throes and the particularization of this particular program, let's thank the vocal stylings of Miss Darlene Dixon, you heard earlier, and the pianistic stylings of Mr. Charles Love. As was stated moments ago, my name is Repertory Brown, but some of you in these parts know me as Powwow. Now, in the celebration of Joyce Brown, I have to invoke my nickname Powwow because if God grants me life on June 11th of this year, I, like Vicky, on the 14th of May, will be 59 years old. And I would have known her 55 years, almost 59. An extended mother, a woman with so much creativity, so much insight, an indefatigable personality, a mother beyond compare. And I'll never forget 4607 Pico Boulevard. And so we're here at 4718 West Washington Boulevard, and I say we, because I have the great good fortune of having founded the Ebony Repertory Theater. And we are the resident company and operator of this beautiful facility, the main Holden performing arts. With that said, at this time, would Miss Diane Stone please come and give our invocational prayer?
Good afternoon. First, Vicky did ask that I share a little bit about how I know Joyce. And I came to California from Indiana in 1966. And we had some friends from Indianapolis that introduced me to Joyce. And Joyce hired me to work at Mrs. Central. Do you remember the dollar counter at Mrs. Central? Well, I worked there in the summer because I was a head kids and preschool teacher, so I had the summers off. So from there, and I'm sure everybody would agree, you had to buy some herbs and vitamins and some food from Mrs. Central. So that's how I got to know her, as well as that when we both started working together with Legal Shield at that time. So I've been knowing her quite a while, as you can see, in the years. And she is quite a lady, and I can say that she really marches to her own feet. We all agree with that. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to open us up in prayer to celebrate a life well lived. Father God, we do thank you today. We thank you for each and every person that is represented here today. They have come to celebrate the life of Joyce Brown, better known as Joy. They have come to share with their reflections of how they have come to know her, how she has actually touched their lives. And Father, may we all have been better for having known her. And we thank you that even now, your angels are encamped around about each and every person in this room as we make our ways back to our homes and our families. But most importantly, Lord, we thank you because you have welcomed her into your world. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Diane. Diane, I'd like to say something to you before you receive. I think we misspoke. You said you graduated from high school in 1966 when you came here. I think it was grammar school, basically.
Oh,
At this time, let's prepare our hearts for musical selection. Once again, please, Mr. Darlene Dixon, and In the Garden.
I come to the garden of the Lord, while the dew is still on the roses, and the books I hear falling off my ears. The word is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other have ever known. Oh, he speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet. The birds stop their singing, and the melody he gave to me within my heart is ringing, and he walks with me, and he talks to me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other that ever knows, none other have ever known.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we Charlie Gibson. Ms. Gibson, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege to tell you that you bring forward the earnest quality of your presentation, the quality of your voice, the honoring of your thoracic cavity. I thank you because the gospel things are good, and you have a balm associated with that goodness. Thank you. Charlie Gibson. We have to remain mindful of the fact that we are here gathered to celebrate. We certainly don't want to run past the reality of the morning. When we are here to celebrate, this is the part of the program that gets tough. Okay? But I'm honored right now to bring a young man who has the great good fortune of being the grandson of this great woman we're celebrating. And so to bring remarks from that specific perspective of grandson, would you please welcome to this podium Harrison Brown.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Harrison. Joyce was my grandmother. always at a young age, I knew she was a very special lady. Some of my fondest memories of her are when I asked my parents, why do we call her Nana and not Grandma? It took me a while to understand why, but she did not like to be called old. Nana was her name. And as years got on, we grew up on the East Coast, and whenever she came, even though she was on the West Coast, she always felt like she knew about us, she always had her pictures, and whenever she came to visit, I remember most grandchildren, they would get presents, and her presents were so hard. I remember we would always hang it up, no matter if I loved it, if I hated it, it always had to show in our house. And one of my favorite things was she gave me this painting once where it was me, my dad, my mom, my sister, and one of our dogs. And 3 years later, a couple years later, we got another dog. And Nana, of course, was like, this can't do. Took the painting off the wall and drawed another face. And that's just who she was. She was special in every way. And she was very unique. Something I learned more the older I got. I remember when I was in high school, whenever I saw her and she came to visit, if my face was breaking out or if I was sore after a basketball game, she'd recommend me. She'd go, and you know, I'm sure we've all done it before, and she's done it to every single one of us right there. And that was the beauty about her. And I think for me, it came full circle when everything started to go a little hazy when I came back. And I saw her, and she was in her hospital bed. And I remember she was battling in the gym with me by cop from Carlton. And the way she just went to a different world because she knew she was a bad man. And that's what I see in my grandma as, and that's who she is. She's that unique, beautiful person who, long far, was who she was through all of it. Did not care what you thought. She would be who she was today. That's all I have.
You know, when one is genetically predisposed to certain things, this family is predisposed to Nana's uniqueness. Ricky is profoundly unique. In all of the traditional qualities of his disposition, he's yet profoundly unique. As is Harrison Brown. And as is this next young lady. The one who created the beautiful and wonderful and colorful Nana Brown. This is Joyce Marie Margaret Brown's granddaughter. And I'm honored to welcome this exquisite young lady. Would you please come? Lauren Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
See, Harrison, you cried. I didn't know you remembered all about it. First, I want to start off by and I kind of wear my collar to look like her. And wear her clothes like her. I also do things like that. He is really comfortable. Very close with Bella and everybody is calm and super. He was my hospitals.
Yeah.
Bella was my hospitals. Bella was not here. And he would go and I would go into it. I would have to leave. I need coffee or something. And he would walk with me and I said, Dad, how do you do this? Like, how do you walk? How do you come here every day? And he was like, tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. He was like, that's what I realized. I've known, but I really felt it in this moment. My hands like I want to be a fighter. And so yes, I want to be like that. I'm sorry, I'm crying. Yes. That thank you for showing me how to do this really bad. So I come from Atlanta, did my work. Was currently getting my graduate degree at Columbia, and it was my favorite. Okay. And when I was presenting my work, every interview I had, I said, my work is inspired by my grandmother. Every interview is inspired by my grandmother. And I would slip her a photo that's similar to this one into my application. And be like, this is why we need to care. And it's not just for someone like this, but it's for someone who walks the way she does. And she was able to, as Harrison says, really community was everywhere she walked in. And I wanted my work to be that. So I don't know. I wrote this whole thing about Anna and how I'm inspired by her, but I think I'm just gonna go sit down.
Sweet Lauren Brown, let her hear it. One of the things I want to say more in reference, this spectacular relationship and unique relationship of Ricky and Miss Brown. Ricky's generosity is unprecedented. But I want to tell you a quick story before we go to the next expression. As we celebrate Joyce, she was in the hospital at Cedars in the Marina. And Ricky, who, as I said, at the core of who he is generosity. He's a giver first. Most people have a concept of poverty where they can do nothing but take. Ricky gives. And so I'm on the phone talking to Ricky every single day, several times a day. And Ricky was particularly caught up emotionally this particular night. And he said, Powell, I'm going to go for a quick walk, and can you come and pick me up? And it was late. And I was fatigued and didn't feel like driving to the marina. But it's Ricky. So I'm going to drive to the marina. So Ricky took his walk, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And the next thing I know, he had started at the marina. This Negro was on La Cienega and Venice. And I said, thank you, Lord, I don't have to drive that. So Ricky's always looking out with a spirit of generosity. He was over in that taco truck, getting those carnitas and that carne asada with the wonderful, I think you had the salsa verde that night. But that's Ricky Brown, as it's connected to just his beautiful, beautiful spirit. And his daughter, Lauren. Lauren, at the end of the day, one of the greatest virtues you can ever possess is that beautiful heart you have. Hold on to that beautiful heart. Let nothing you do corrupt that beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it. You're beautiful.
Very well said.
Ms. Dixon, would you please? Amazing grace.
Yeah, Ricky and I chose this amazing grace after Harrison and Lauren spoke because they are amazing grace. Especially how sweet the sound. Just save me, set me free. I once was lost. Yes, Lord. was blind, but now I see. Was free, that taught what hard to and praise my fears relieved. How precious was when that grace of the hour
In keeping with the unique disposition of this woman we celebrate today, all of you have a program that is designed so uniquely. Isn't that beautiful? It's been designed by her granddaughter, that great Everick Brown. She put this together, and to see that artwork, and then the name Joy Brown, and that wonderful picture below, full of the ebullience that she had at every turn, whenever you met her. When she was in the lobby of this theater, it lit up like a Christmas tree, because she always brought that colorful disposition, but her spirit was so bountiful. And to see that photograph, and that 1,000-watt smile. Isn't that beautiful? Such a smile that I've seen, again, from the time I was 4 or 5 years old. And I'm thankful for that. You know, in addition to being around me here, to say that what a special blessing it is that the last birthday celebration of this great woman was right on these grounds. And that we're here celebrating this part of her life, because she yet lives. She's gone from us physically, but she yet lives. And so, again, Ricky, just honored and thankful as we go forward. But at this time, I'd like to welcome her beloved nephew to this podium to give some remarks, some reflections, and some expressions. Would you please, Brother Theo Battle, would you come? Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Whew, what a day. What a day, what a time to be. What a time to be. We should all be so lucky to be passionate about one thing as much as Joyce Brown is passionate about I'm glad this is a point for reflection, and I want to just reflect back on a couple things as it relates to my life with my auntie. Of course, we all had the family reunions and we go through all that, but we had my mom and our big family. We had a couple occasions where we came to live with Joyce. I lived with her when I was 10, and then again when I was 16. I have a couple drinks later, maybe I'll tell you the real story. But nevertheless, and at that time, she was passionate about the jewelry business. I'm sorry?
Speak up.
She was passionate about the jewelry business, and so I had that experience in living with Joyce and laughing with her through that. You know, it wasn't until I was older that I realized how passionate she was, how knowledgeable she was, and how strong her opinions are. I learned that as I got older. You know, my first ex-wife. This is a celebration. We need some laughter. We were at a family event, and we were together. We were talking to Joyce. And Joyce looked at her and said, you got something wrong with your Bible. and you guys were laughing, and it was interesting because she didn't realize she had something wrong with her Bible. And then to go to the doctor to find out she did have something wrong with her Bible and had to go through medication. That was Joyce Brown. That was Joyce Brown. I also remember, and I got black on the day for this very reason. You know, Joyce, she's gonna come at you. I was someplace, and I think at the time of my 20s, I was in all black. And she said, "Why are you always dressed in black? Your skin dark enough. You need some color." And you guys all know, Joyce had a way of saying things to you with such passion that you had to take it. You're like, okay, there's something to that. And so I've always thought about that, because that was a long time ago, and I still think about that. And as I said, she had a way of saying things to you with such passion that it made you say, I'm not even thinking about that. You know, because I know that as Harrison said, we all have had the herb conversation. But I tell you, she could have sold a lot of things because she was so passionate about that. And she'd look at you, she'd do your hand test, and you think about it. I know I used to go, after I finished talking to her, I would do some research. Like, okay, maybe she was right about something. But I always did appreciate that. Whether it was the herbs, you know, as time went on, in the most recent years, she became very opinionated about politics. And while I'm sure you might have everybody in this room, we all probably have different views about everybody does everything, and that's fine. But I appreciate that about her because she was passionate about it. What she felt, she was very passionate about it. My last conversation with Joyce was November, and we talked for about an hour on the phone. And I had talked to Ricky, and I wanted to give her a call, and I gave her a call. And we talked about my job and dealing with people, and she had a lot of good advice. She was telling me how much you need to get your mom to get going. She went through this whole thing. And I can go back and research that too, because again, she's so passionate about it. I am sad because, you know, one last part of that conversation, she talked about when we were living together, and she talked about all these pictures she had. And she said, you know, I'm gonna make a collage of these pictures. I'm just gonna give them to you. And I don't have that collage. But, okay. Yeah. She's going to put a collage together. So, I just want to, you know, I don't have a glass, but I want to raise a glass to my auntie. And I start where I finished. I'll finish where I started. We should all be passionate about one thing as much as she was passionate about. Thank you.
You go back over here. You know, you went right there. I'm telling you, you said my first ex-wife. I love it. It was a duck bunch. You didn't try to make it pretty and say my first former wife. You said my first ex. I love it. But I love, your auntie was a truth teller. And you knew to come up here and express your truth as you have. And color. She almost were all black today. And I thought about her as I was getting dressed. And I said, I only had this other suit available immediately that was fresh. So I said, let me put this on. And it turns out Ricky's in blue, Harrison's in blue, this other brown man's in blue. So they came. At this time, I'd like to bring this young lady here to celebrate her year of love. Will you please welcome Ashley Holden?
So as was mentioned, Joyce is actually my great aunt. And I live in Indianapolis, and growing up, I just remember thinking that she was such a cool aunt, just a cool aunt. I actually felt that way about all of my granddad's siblings. I just really enjoy being in their presence and being around them. So it was always really fun when Aunt Joyce came to town. She'd come to Indianapolis with her suitcase stuffed to the brim with vitamins. She'd always have her linen skirts and really cool jewelry that she was always very generous about giving us a piece or two of. One of my favorite memories is probably the last time that I physically saw her. I had come to LA to visit her friend, and I wanted to spend the day with my aunties. So Aunt Julia came and picked me up. We went and got Aunt Joyce, and thank God she was on time and she was ready. Everything was on her, so we didn't have to leave her. But we first, went to grab a bite to eat. She was raving about this turkey burger spot. So we had to go get turkey burgers and shakes. I don't know how this happened because we all rode in one car, but we ended up separated. Me and Joyce ended up separated from Julia. We were waiting in the restaurant for us. But Joyce and I had made our way across the parking lot to El Suave, and she had us in there. So she was hustling around El Suave for about 30 minutes. I was following her around. And she found some good pieces, and she quickly stuffed them in her purse because she didn't want Aunt Julia to know where we had been. So we quickly made our way back over across the street and enjoyed our turkey burgers and our shakes. And then, of course, we had to stop by the health food store. So we stopped by the health food store where I spent about $70 on vitamins. But, she, when I got back home, she had remembered everything that I bought. She was asking me if I was taking them. And of course, giving me recommendations of how many to take, how often during the day to take them. And then, after the health food store, we made our way to the beach. And that was really great because we were just able to take in all the sights and sounds, and we were able to people watch. And I have a lot of great photos from that afternoon that I really cherish. What I'll miss most is, I think, our conversations. Talking to her and hearing her talk about Harrison and Warren and how they're doing. She would always call and ask me about what kind of aches and pains I had and what I needed to do to fix those. And not too long ago, I was so excited to call and tell her that I had bought a whole set, actually my mom bought them for me, of stainless steel pots and pans. She was convincing me that I needed to be cooking on stainless steel and get that oil out my body. So very excited to tell her about that. She was such, as we said before, such a unique person that I believe left a great impression and left great memories with everyone that was blessed to know her. So thank you, Ricky, Vicky, and Lauren, and Lisa for allowing me to be up here today and share some memories of my wonderful aunt. And I do. I have my bracelets. I attribute these to her. I wear these a lot, so yes.
The great niece has been called. I'll tell the story because you did. We talked about these herbs. A lot, everyone has referenced these herbs. Now, I'm going to reference something first that those of us who know her well, we know her as well. Storage units. I had the great good fortune of helping Miss Brown one day on the rail with my son. And for her to know my son and my children meant a great deal to me. So we were over there helping her. And not 1, 2, or 3, but maybe the 5th of the storage units on the rail. So my son picked up some herbs. And she said, Papa, Ricky's bright and got dark But if these herbs, they're really going they're really going and it was specific, they were from the time when Ricky had come out of Fairfax High School. She said, yeah, these herbs. A great helpmate. So we understand she believed in Cleo with passion. Right? Dear Darlene, would you please eternal?
Yeah, this song is an original song. It talks about life and how we really look at life. Eternal life is all you ever were. Eternal life is all you'll ever be. There is only now forevermore. And life in God is all you need to see. Death is but a tragic fantasy. Alive is the way that you and I will always be. Death is but an open winding door. Through it we see that we are oh so much more. God's love rising still. The gift of life is never ever lost. Oh, the gift of life is never ever lost. The twinkling of God's eye, and we are transformed forevermore. And there we stand just like the butterfly. My apologies. Death is but a tragic fantasy. Alive is the way that you and I will always be. Death is but an open, winding door. Through it we see that we are oh so much more. God's love rising, God's love rising still.
Darlene, thank you so much. It's a beautiful lyric and beautiful melody. Thank you so much. Well, that's all right. This is family. Apologizing about forgetting lyrics, please. It's the feeling that counts. Right? It's the feeling that counts. Yeah, absolutely. At this time, a dear long-standing friend. I would have been out of order to say an old friend. But a dear, long-standing friend, a dear woman. Would you please welcome to this podium Miss Victoria Franklin, would you please?
The other day, I got ready to call Joyce and realized that I couldn't. My heart dropped. I miss our conversation so much. She loved her family, especially her son and her grandchildren. I miss her warm and welcoming smile
her sparkling eyes, as well as her unique and colorful personality. We share a love of art, music, dancing, and delicious, healthy food. However, I am so sorry I could not keep up with her on the roller skating rink. Joy was an accomplished artist, health advocate, and entrepreneur. I often come across something that I buy in a beautiful store, a boutique, some jewelry, a piece of art, some kente cloth, and a badass hat. She really wanted all of us to be healthy. She encouraged everyone who would listen to take care of themselves and live their best life. I benefited greatly from her advice. Joy. Joy. Her name is the best description of who she was. And I will miss her.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I have to tell you, Victoria, as you get seated, I'm so thankful for your brevity. Because when you open your book, I thought a short story was for. And so I was nervous as a prosecutor.
I was called by him.
At the end of the day, so poignant, so Victoria Franklin, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, a dear friend, to Everick Brown, Ricky Brown, to most of us. Would you please come, dear Lisa Richardson? Let her meet you. Lisa Richardson.
So I met Rick in 1982. 18 years old, and I don't think I'd ever met anyone from California. There was Mars and Pluto and Jupiter and Austin. And Rick shows up, and I would say he smashed through all of the days that you are supposed to be in this national white Anglo-Saxon society. But really, he closed it. He becomes so instantly popular, instantly moving and rhythm that people are like, oh, that's nice. Fast forward 10 years later, I moved to Los Angeles. And I don't know anything. I'm 28 years old, I come out here to work for LA Times, and I have a place to live. And I wandered into a little store called Art Center. And chatting with this owner, and I said, just moving from the East Coast. And that is enough for a proud mother to come forward. No, I didn't say New Hampshire, I didn't say Florida, I just said East Coast. And he said, my son Ricky went to Dartmouth. And I said, I went to Dartmouth. And she said, you know Ricky? I don't know. She called me like that. I'm a very black person. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, what's your name? And he said, Ricky Brown. Of course I know. And I shot up in her estimation. Like right there. You can see it. I became someone. But what she did for me was she turned that street where I didn't know anybody. She made that store a refuge, and as the young people say today, a safe space. But it was more than that. It was warm and welcoming, and she taught me two very important things. The first thing was that I had not properly cared for my colon. You knew. And I would be needing herbs. And I said two things for three. The second was that as outstanding, I was like, Ricky's this amazing person. She was like, she wanted me to know he's raised. Like it was not an accident. He was this amazing person. And I was like, I was like, yes, but you know, this man was
great. And the last thing is about love. I would make her crazy. I would go in that store and like, oh, this is so cute. You know, my twins. Oh, that's cute. His ears are cute. That is cute. You let know that it's cute. Stop it. What do you love? What do you love? And I had never thought of this. I didn't know I was supposed to fit. Because the beauty around me was supposed to connect with something in me. So that changed not just at that moment, but it changed me. And we developed this friendship because the rhythms of my life as I'm going home for holidays and shopping for presents and Mother's Day and Father's Day and all of these days are when she's about to go see her family. So every time I am there, she's about to go see her beloved grandchildren. And I'm sorry, I do know when you were breaking out. I do know when you were about to eat. I know when you didn't like to eat. I know when you went to sleep at night. I mean, like the pride and joy and the love because she was always about to go. We were about to go at the same time. And then she'd come back, counting on when she could go again. And a couple years ago, I closed up my parents' home, and I told Rick that I never ever would have imagined 4 years later that your mother would be the last person in the room with me in my parents' home, because all of the beauty and joy and love and art that I could share over the years. The last time I saw her, I was shopping on Fairfax, and someone comes up from behind me and grabs the flesh, we're gonna call it, between my bra strap and my shoulder, and says, "Uh-oh, backpack." What's going on here? I think I could turn around and I told her what's going on. I'm like, I'm low stress. French fries. and she listens, right? She listens. And then I skillfully change the subject by just saying, "How's Rick?" And she's like, "Let me tell you. Let me tell you." It's so inspiring to see that her legacy of beauty and art and aesthetics live on in Rick and Lisa's business and beautiful granddaughter and the My Colorful Banana project, because, I mean, before there was Black Girl Magic, right? Before we were unapologetic, before we were kept arguing that our lives mattered, like joy was out in front, not out to hide, right? Just blazing up here for all of this. So it's a heavy day, and it's a moment of, yes, sadness, but I know that for so many of you, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity and the privilege to call them friends.
Thank you for sharing. As you were sharing, the poet came to mind. And she kept the noiseless tenor of her. Such a beautiful quality in your sharing. Heartfelt. Thank you. Lisa Ricketson. For those of us who are living in the mid-70s, you might remember an album from Quincy Jones called Body. Spectacular record. There was a song on that sung by a gentleman who's no longer here, but he's here. Please listen to this beautiful melody, these wonderful lyrics by Bernard Heitner. Everything must change.
Everything must change. Everyone will change. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. Young become old. Mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life we can be sure. Except rain comes from clouds, sun hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to never much too soon. Everything will change. There are not many things like you can be sure. Except rain comes from clouds, sun lights up the sky, hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
Darlene, you gave yourself so beautifully that day. You leaned in, thank you. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the great good fortune in my life to introduce a lot of people known and unknown. But I'm honored beyond measure to introduce this next gentleman. I have 4 blood brothers. So when I think of Ricky, I'm reminded of the great poet Edmund Markham, when he said, "There is a destiny that hath made us brothers. No man knows his way alone." From the time before I entered kindergarten, this has been my brother, faithful and just. He's a spectacular human being. He has an elevated consciousness. He's an exquisite father, but most particularly, he was a magnificent son who ran the race to the very end. Would you please give up here my beloved brother,
So I'm going to do my best. You know, the first thing that comes to mind for me today is the reason why I got up here is my mother just said, you can do this. Would you like me to speak more?
Yeah. So I'm here, but I'm here mostly to say thank you. I really wanted to express, because even though my mother raised me solo, I never yearned for anything, including a dad. I was perfectly fine being raised by my mother, because she saw it fit and made it fit that there were people in my life that could help fill in those voids.
Yeah.
Uncles, godfather. I grew up in a village. I don't know how many mothers I have, but I think I have a few of them in here. Liz Cates is one. Maxine McFarland, who's across the street from me, is another. Sally Hickman, who's not here today. She's in Las Vegas at a family reunion. My aunt Prissy, where you at? Prissy, oh my gosh. Like, she came to live with us when I was a baby, and I almost remember, I couldn't say like 4 or 5, but I remember when she came. 2, I remember. I remember. But I also remember, you know, when she moved out and having friends. I used to go and stay with her. She babysat me many years. Sally babysat me many years. Martha, who's not here, is how I know Powell. She lived across the street from him. So that's how we got to know each other. But what I want to say is, in my life, what I really remember very well, and I don't remember a lot of things, meaning birthdays and things like that. My mother went out on all of them. What I remember is when I was applying to college. And this is a big deal because I applied to a few colleges, but there was one in particular that she thought was important, and that was Dartmouth. She didn't know much about it, nor did I. But what she did was she assembled a room full of women. I'm pretty sure Diane Stone was in that room. And what she did was attempt to get me into a school that we knew nothing about. What did that mean? One of the women in the room knew how to write an application. The other woman knew somebody who had gone to the school, so you gotta go meet that person. The other one knew how you should dress. And I remember those women scurrying in that kitchen. And I think the reason why I remember it is because of the responsibility it gave me once I got accepted to Dartmouth. And so my kids know Dartmouth is a great school, but as I say, Dartmouth didn't make me smart. I came smart. Remember, I came early. I arrived smart. And my mother would tell me if she was here. Let me do a thank you, and this is where my mother was really super amazing. Not only did she share, but she's very grateful. She would always thank people. When we were sitting in that hospital, and Lauren made mention to it, I really don't like hospitals, nor does my mother. And as I described, her constitution did not include modern medicine. It did not include being in a hospital. But what I asked her was to let's get some information. And she deferred and allowed us to get the information we needed. But every day sitting in that hospital, nurses, doctors would come in. My mother in her fashion would say, those earrings are so cute. Those shoes are so beautiful. Do you know about my colorful Nana? It's worldwide, she would say. And if somebody did something for her, she would thank them. And so I really felt obligated to come here today to thank everybody in the room for coming out to share with me in the life of my mother. And I will tell you the stories that I heard from Indianapolis to Los Angeles have been heartfelt. I thought I was the only one who loved my mother as hard as I loved her. But I gotta tell you, after talking to her childhood friend, Gloria, and others in Indianapolis, her friends here, I think they all love her more than me. I mean, it is amazing, and one of the things I wanted to say, I'm going to start with Darlene Dixon, who sang today. One of the reasons I was so emotional, because she is not only a singer we brought here today, but she's a dear friend of mine. And you thought my mother was passionate about herbs, and jewelry, and art. She would always say, Darlene has a CD. Do you have her Christmas CD? So to hear Darlene deliver in the way that she did today just brought back Mom in my ear. And I'm so happy that Darlene could come and share. But the other reason why I wanted to highlight you, Darlene, is I'm very appreciative of you coming to the hospital almost every single day, spending the night with my mother. When I can be there, it's hard. But that's what friend or friend is all about.
Right.
And you know something? She put that she made you drove people crazy. Like this time, she would drive me around all of the houses that had that were decorated. She'd play that. And then in summertime, the person, she supported me so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And she loved you too. So I wanted to call that out. She'd be like, did you tell Darlene? Yeah. Listen, I want to start with a big thank you to Sally Hickman, who's not here today, and my cousin Carlos, who is, because that fatal weekend of my mother became confused, and I got very worried about her because I used to talk to her 2 times a day. I picked up the phone and I called Sally and Carlos without hesitation. They went to her apartment to be a wellness check, so they met the police. Well, that very day, she came to the door, or almost to the door, and said, I'm okay, I'm not going to a hospital, I'm fine. But she left a couple of cookie crumbs for me, where I said, no, she's not. So that next day, I called upon her dear friend Rashida. I'm not sure if Rashida's in the room, but I want to give Rashida a big thank you. She's over against the wall. Because again, without hesitation, on that fateful Monday, I was able to pick up the phone and call Rashida without hesitation. She went over to the apartment for me. And on that day, I wasn't asking questions. On that day, we were breaking down. We go in, unfortunately, we did. And so what ensued after that was Lucille Butler, Robert Chelsea, without hesitation, because remember, I lived in New York City, or New York, in Westchester. But my point is, I wasn't here, but I was able to rely on friends and family to get the job done. So my mother, who had not been to a doctor or a hospital in over 50 years, was on her way and I was upside down. And Lucille, Chelsea, and Rashida all went to that hospital to make sure she wasn't alone because I was going crazy. And that was Monday and Monday night. Tuesday morning I was here, first flight, and arrived where Powell picked me up. I think again it's a blur and took me straight to the hospital. So I want to thank you also for stepping in on that day. It means a lot to me, and thank you for hosting us today. And I know it's not customary, but I'm going to do it because there's a lot of work going on. There's a play that Everick Brown, who I thought Powell is working on, A Misbehaving, is going to open up next Saturday. So if you get an opportunity, please come and see it. But I had to do it up here. It's home. I don't care. I had no intention of talking this long, you guys. I'm sorry, but I got to get these thank you outs. Fritzy Barker, my aunt, also came to the hospital, and she talked to my mother every single day. And if that wasn't enough, she talked to me every single day. So, and when I say every single day, I mean sometimes 2 times a day. So I have to thank my auntie, who is just everything to me, and she knows until Carlos came. I was first. Maxine, I called down. Maxine and I go back a really long ways, but she used to cook dinner when my mother was at the store working or doing something in the community, but she also made her way to spend time at the hospital with my mother, and I truly appreciate that. Burgess Walker, I don't know if he's still here, but what a dear friend, Burgess, who helped take care of my mother. Went to visit her when I wasn't here, so I had to go back to New York. But he called me, was concerned to keep me updated. So I just wanted to give a real thank you, Burgess. And Burgess goes back with us to the 60s, so he's family. Miss Cates is my adopted mother, so I used to go to their house after school, but Valerie Cates and I grew up together, and she was my play sister, and I just made my way into their family because they had an amazing family. Mr. Cates would roll up in his hat, and he was so cool, and he would kiss Miss Cates, and he had a chair. When I grew up, that's what I wanted. I wanted to kiss my Miss Cates and have my chair, have my food ready. So I love Miss Cates and the Cates family. Nick, love you for bringing Miss Cates out and making it all happen, so thank you. Gloria Dotson, who's here with us from Indianapolis via live stream, I have to say a big shout out and thank you, because this is my mother's lifelong friend. They went elementary, junior high, and high school together, and they still talk every single day about everything. So whether I had medical questions or just needed to vent, I could always call Gloria. She would answer that phone any time of day. So I really wanted to say thank you to her. I also wanted to give a thank you to Jackie and Blvd, 2 cooks. They were going to cook for us, but they're out of town with Sally. So we don't get to have them, but those 2 young ladies can really cook their butts off, so one day we'll get them here. Lastly, I have to say thank you to my children. I almost thought you guys my grandchildren. My children, because I'm thinking of my mother. Harrison Miles Brown, thank you very much. I think it was a big deal to come up here and talk about your grandmother. You're the world to me. Lauren Brown, the same, ditto. It is hard when you are as close to somebody as we were to Nana, my mother, to get up here and do this. But your Nana would have said do it. But I wanted to thank you guys for having the strength and the courage to come up and share your sensitivity with us, because we are amongst family and friends. And that's the only reason why I came up, because I feel comfortable at home. I just want to thank you guys for coming out and really celebrating and giving me a hug, because I appreciate
Everick, Ricky, you're beautiful. To bring spoken closure to this afternoon, I'm deeply honored to introduce Ricky's godfather. We, as children, called him just Chelsea. I came to know him as a single-digit child, and we are still here. The great Langston Hughes said, I've been scarred and battered. My hopes the wind done scattered. Snow has frisked me, sun has baked me. looked like between them they done tried to make me stop loving, stop living, and stop laughing, but I don't care. I'm still here. We're still here, Chelsea.
Amen.
So, this is an extraordinary man. Extraordinary man. My grandmother would say he's decent people's children. Been a joy and a contributor to Ricky's life all of his life. When he had the greatest challenge of his life, Ricky, right there. Anything that Ricky did, Chelsea, right there. We rode in this man's car a many a day, a many a track meet, to many a tennis match, whatever it was. Gymnasium when Ricky was a gymnast. Every single thing you could imagine, he was always there. And Ricky was always there for him, and as I stated, in the greatest hour of his life, the most difficult challenge of his life, Ricky, that generous, right there, brilliant, conscientious, a man of tremendous integrity, always there for that child. But I'm just honored to have an opportunity to introduce him today because I love you deeply. And when I think of Lord Chesterfield, I think of you, Robert Johnson. Lord Chesterfield said of his son that polished brass would pass upon more people than rough gold. This is that polished brass. Would you please, for our closing prayer, receive with the warmness of your heart, Mr. Robert Johnson, would you please?
Praise the Lord.
Now I have a transplant. Because when we transform, it's earthly really helping us. Not really,
Amen.
I hope you can hear me and forgive me for being too mixed up, blowing my nose. Because I had a transplant, his nose is the donor. I just got to still remember that I think it was the donor. My forehead is still a whiskey. And it wants to get to a different way than I ever had. My lips don't really, I think that's about the best I can do is talking to my lips. So, I'm learning. But I learned more, having this last 2 years, that I ever knew about Ricky. Now, when I got on this, I think it's appropriate because we did go back a long way because family has known for a long time. And since the way the program is designed, we want to hear from family that has all kinds of other stories. But we think we're going to do that on the other side of the dinner. So we can get on one and share as we live. If that's okay with you all. That's what the family.
so what good stands for everything. Really standing there, really in the well, that's the because it's been really to do that. Al Owens and I went to a conference over 50 years. We do a work, not work together, work with something. I work with IBM. I drove an IBM as a 17-year-old. I had a lot of government to do. I had a lot of everything. My age, I didn't have a degree, I didn't have a anyway, I was good sometimes with and so this 90 Al and some others would take me around to the nightclub. And I didn't really anything small. But these guys are adults. So we went to this nightclb, and Al would order sherry with a 7-Up down. I ordered sherry with a 7-Up down. He gave me this 7-Up, I gave him my sherry. So we had to keep on doing so that's how it worked. Joyce was there. I don't know if she was good, but anyway, she was good. And anyway, I asked her again. And we danced. And this is what I'm saying this is because Joyce was older than I. However, I really enjoyed talking with her that night because she didn't really either. And so after we danced, I sat down, I sat next to her and whoever else she was with, and we talked the whole rest of the night. That's how we became friends. And so it was never in romance, and it started out. I went to her house, Memphis, and the first time, first of all, her living room was immaculate. I know when you all have seen and known her in years past, that she was immaculate when it came to meet students in the country. So, I did that when she was out there, but I always got that on. And, so anyway, I went into her bedroom. She had all kinds of jewelry in her down because at that time she was going to corners selling her jewelry. She was remember when she used to sell jewelry on corners. A lot of people, earrings and so on, bracelets and so on. And so we became friends. At that time she had an MG, a small sports car. That was the only new car she ever had. Now,
Chelsea, you forgive me, I don't mean to be indelicate, but I'm not in the physical condition I desire to be.
Anyway, bottom line is, we were friends from that point on. The second time I ran into all her girlfriends were there, and one of them brought Vicky. That's when I met Vicky. She was 4 or 5 years old. I wanted to at least say one other thing.
Yes, sir.
Really? I don't know if you know anybody else, but really, people were getting business on everything. So you can see why the things that he articulated and said, it's just that, he had to understand for a moment, the man was something. Independent, entrepreneurial, what we would call, or articulate about great ability and vision for his life. And he would do these kinds of things just took me I learned so much from these guys that I just could not, refrain from being around them. So I appreciate this journey that we've had, and obviously there's a future ahead for all of us. And I hope each one of you that had the chance to embrace today, I hope it's going to be. And I hope we have a chance to speak to each other as our future continues on. Let's do this, brother. Thank God for this wonderful day. Dear Father, thank you so much. We're here to ask one thing. So how can we say, come to you? Help families. How can we say, come to you? Yes, sincerely. Help us, dear Lord. Focus now, we will remember Joyce, but help us to focus on you who have created us. How much greater that one person can influence us this way, that we will come together and rejoice in the word and have bitterness over her and appreciate her. How much more should we should be able to do? So this prayer is to you on behalf of every single one here. Cover us, dear Father, as you have created and live in joy. Keep us in your arms. As you also remember previously, move on to another area of this location. Let each one that feel the need, let their hearts move along in Jesus' name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven, please give all that we need and forgive us. Oh, holiday. As we forgive, as we forgive those who harm us, those who harm us, and lead us not away from you.
thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to go to the next door, right out these doors to the right, and to have some libation, some Epertory delights. Drinking food. Let us stand as we celebrate joy. Let us stand and give her a standing ovation and applause as we make our way next door.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So you walking a little bit, huh? Okay. Oh, you got your walk. Oh yeah, you gotta have that to make sure you're stable, right?